All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is RBEpete with another unnamed broadcast. Somebody thought that was funny, and I don't know if I'm going to keep it, but we're just going to go with the Texas eSports League podcast. I'm joined by Sarge. He's hanging out with me tonight. Hello, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me yet again.
Of course, man. We're going to be doing this quite a bit, and I'm glad that we can from time to time.
Yes, sir.
So for all of you who are new to what it is that we're doing, we have a free league that we've kicked off. Well, that Sarge has kicked off, and he's asked me to help him as an admin and also provide some commentary. Within our last podcast, we went over some common rules, or just some generic rules that you would typically see in a league that starts up, and they normally have like a point system or a bracket, which is similar to the tournaments, or they do something which is just single elim. You play a single match and you're out, and then they just have a bunch of teams kind of get in there, which is what the International is getting ready to do this Saturday, which I hope everybody is finding a team. Scramble and get a team, especially all you Texas guys. Get together within a team, play it up. There's the website. We'll go ahead and link it. I think it might be on the website, the Texas eSports website, the link to that international information, because I saw that you shared it up there.
Yeah.
Last podcast we went over those intro to what the league was, the basic expectations of what that was going to be, and then this week is kind of rehashing some of the questions that came up in response to that. And I'm going to let Sarge kick it off with some things that maybe was addressed to him that we can go ahead and talk about. And I'll leave it up to you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I think the biggest thing that we faced this past week was people's concern about the finals week, which I understand. I'm a student too. My finals are in 2 weeks, so I guess it's not the same. But I do understand that, this is the most critical week. So instead of forcing everybody to play by Sunday for week one, we're just going to kind of open the gate and let week one flow into week two. And that way, if you're a student, well, then you just may be playing 2 games next week, which I'm sure it won't hurt your feelings. So basically, week one has an extension. Week two is still going to be, due at the end of week two. But week one has until, what did we say, the 24th of this month. So your team just has to play 2 games by then, basically. That was the biggest concern. The other one, I was kind of fighting with was it's the availability for you and me. More you, because you're doing the recording and commentating for us. So I wanted you and I, and we can kind of hash it out and decide what 2 days we want to choose. But I want to go for 2 hard days per week that we will be recording and providing commentary for. So basically, we will say your default days would be, hypothetically, Monday, Wednesday, 8 o'clock time. Now, if your team can't make it and you have to reschedule, that's fine. But you just won't be in the realm of recording, and we won't have video playback for that week of your team. And the reason is because Pete does other leagues, he does other things, people have families, so you can still play whatever day you want a week to submit your score. But if you want your team to have playback and commentary, you really have to try to get those 2 days a week in there. So Pete, I guess I'll leave it up to you to suggest some dates, because you're the most critical part of that aspect. What would work best for you, if you do have any preferences?
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and say Wednesdays and Thursday nights,
Okay.
typically after 7:45-ish, somewhere around 8 p.m. would be an ideal time for anybody who wants to be able to get some commentary and the recordings in for the league, and that would be the best to work for me.
That works.
What
for me.
I would add to that, for the folks that would like to have a post-game highlight for their game, get a Dropbox account, and we can go ahead and share that Dropbox with the other captains, or create a second one. It sounds like this having the highlights for the games is going to be something that these teams want. It's a good tool to help kind of recap on some things in a very short time frame,
right?
And to look at how you played in a game, whether it was good or bad, and just say, what could we have done different in this scenario. Even in the scenarios that we thought, like, hey, it went really fucking good.
Yeah.
But here were some parts that we saw that, we overlooked or that we could have added to. Anyway, I'm rambling.
No,
So,
makes sense.
yeah. But yeah, those 2 days, Wednesdays and Thursday nights, would be the best for me.
And I agree. My schedule is pretty much wide open. I only go to the gym, but I can adjust that time regardless. So we'll say Wednesday and Thursday night, 8 o'clock Central. That is, like I said, only for if you want to be recorded. And listen, we want to try our best focus on getting teams that, because we have a YouTube channel, we have a website. We want as much footage as we can have to put out there so people can see us. We want a presence. We want to develop this scene. So if you can, please try your best to get it those 2 days. Like I said, if you can't, I understand, man. Life happens. You got husbands, wives, kids, jobs, school. I get it. But if we can, just let's make an honest effort to get to those nights for the sake of the league. And if you can't, we'll work around it. So let me see. Let me just go back to Facebook and see, because that was 2 things people asked. And I believe we really got to give credit to Troll, man. Troll was throwing some great ideas at us, and I think everything he said, I think he's batting 1,000. And he was like, man, that's really good.
Yeah, he had some good feedback.
Troll, do you want to be an admin? If you have time, man, we'll take you on the team. Like, we can always use extra help, so hit me up. But let me find some of these other...
look over some of the comments that he made, because maybe we can bring some of that up and throw it out there at some ideas that everyone else can give some feedback on. Meanwhile, Team 8 has one of their team members who are from Toronto, Canada, and they were under the impression that we were just playing with folks from Texas. So I want to put it out there, as we kick off a new league, there may be some folks who are playing from locations that are outside of this area. Now, while it's ideal that we want to have teammates that we can eventually meet face-to-face and try to come together for a lot of these bigger tournaments, but until we get to that point, it's not going to hurt us at all to have, some teammates who we can pull in from outside locations, either as a stand-in or somebody that can become one of the core players on the team. Because if the tournament is an online-only tournament, whatever we were working up to or whatever event you eventually are aiming for in the long run, being invited to those tournaments is not out of the question. It's not difficult for somebody to travel and make those accommodations to get to these tournaments for a weekend, to make it someplace, especially if there's going to be some kind of cash payout. But that's bigger picture. That's thinking way down the road here. So for now, we're going to have a couple folks who are going to be playing from outside. What do you think about that, Sarge?
Well, based on what you just said, if we even get to the point to where we have a quote-unquote Texas team, by that time, we won't have any outsiders. We'll have the elite players. And yes, 100% with you. If we have people from out the country, like Canada or New York or who cares, right now, it's okay because we're just getting started. And, I know the person they're talking about, I'm not going to bring it up because it's not a big deal, but that person seems to have a lot of experience. So I'm thinking his teammates could learn a lot from this person. Indeed. So, let's kind of just take it in stride. When it's going to be time, we'll be the separatist Texas,
Right.
But until then, I say the more the merrier. And as this progresses, and if this league continues and we keep getting interest, and there's enough local interest, then we will keep it just Texas. But for now, let's just play it. Let's have fun. Not really worried about it.
Yeah, indeed. All right, so moving on. Did you capture any of what Troll had added?
Let's see. So Troll
Mr. Troll Bus.
He said, let's see.
Bus.
He basically just brought up the fact about the 2 weeks, having more than 7 days to prep for week 2, and we kind of cover that.
Okay.
Those were the 2 big things. People were worried about when we got started if this week wouldn't work with their school schedule, and 2 was about I guess players in general not being from Texas. That's what I'm looking at from the post that I made. I only had 4 or 5 comments. Then go ahead.
I just read over that there is a TeamSpeak server available that Dylan is offered for anybody. Or wait, Dylan Cactus Tunmeyer forgive me if I butchered your name, sir. But if you find him within the Texas eSports League, find him, and he has a TeamSpeak available for us to use, and he'll create a separate channel for the captain of that particular team. So get in touch with him. Thank you, Dylan. That is a really big deal. That's going to help out with these teams a lot. They need a place to speak. I've also got access to a Ventrilo server over here on my end. If anybody needs it, again, I would go with Dylan's offer first, since he's already got that information out on the Facebook group. Go find that. Scanning through some of the other things. Dropbox, again, I want to emphasize that. If you don't already have a Dropbox account, grab it. Save your game, download your games after you play them, and then go into Steam. You can Google all this information if you're not sure how to do it. You have to go into the Steam, into the apps, the Dota 2 beta. You go into your replays. I could give you the whole string if you need it in order to get to it. But find the, I forget the root of the file. I think it's a DM file. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I could open up the Dropbox and look. I put them in there for you in the past. But, find that raw file for the saved game, and once you create the Dropbox, send me an email at Mr. Perez1928 at Gmail. Send it to me there. Send the invite there, and then you can just start sending me all of your recordings. Because unless I am in the lobby when the game is played, I won't have access to view the game, and I really want to get you your highlights for those matches. And it's not a very hard thing to do, to post the highlights. It only takes a couple minutes. My uploads are really fast. I've got gigapower, so I've got almost a gigabyte of upload speed, so I can shoot things to YouTube super fast from my end. So carrying on, kudos to all you other guys with some pretty hilarious artwork and comic strips.
I know, right?
From Jonathan Dietz. I don't know if you saw some of these.
Yeah, I did.
I'm looking at the Animage one, to things I hate. I kind of want to show everybody.
And also, I just want to throw it out there, guys, think of your names, team names. I mean, we can stick with team 1 through 8, but I'd like to have, when Pete broadcasts, I don't want him to say team 3 and team 4, I'd like him to have a name. So,
right.
Whoever's watching this, I don't care what it is, just come up with a name for your team so we know how to identify you guys. I mean, what do we call the champions?
Right.
Team 1, so just a thought.
Good job, Team 1.
And I'm guilty. My team still doesn't have a name too, so.
Right. And if you've lost a teammate, if for some reason someone is no longer there, you can't get in touch with them, let Sarge or myself know. Put it out there within the group, and we'll try to help we'll try to fill those slots the best we can.
Yeah.
There's going to be folks who are going to disappear, and even if it's a 6-person and you still have your core 5, we do need to designate somebody who can be an alternate, who can be a stand-in, that they don't necessarily have to be there at the time when you play, but at least somebody who's offered to be available when they may be needed.
Right. I've seen several people post that they said they would like to join or fill in, but this club or this group, all these posts are running into each other. So I'm saying this to the captains or any teammates out there. If you know of a teammate that you've lost right now or anywhere down the road, just make a brand new post and say, hey, we need a replacement for one of our players, and we'll get that person on the roster. So kind of throwing it out there. So there's people on standby who want to play, who want to get you in there. I think that's what I really need to cover based on what I was asked. Those 2 questions, and then putting hard dates. So for those who are watching or will watch this, for week 1, we're still going to have the Wednesday, Thursday, 8 o'clock time. If you show up and you schedule with us, great. If you don't, you don't. Pete, now we said we have 8 teams, so we're going to have 4 matches. So that would be basically 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday. In a perfect world, if everybody made it for recording and YouTube footage, right?
Right.
So basically, I think we could say 8 o'clock and maybe 10:30 for the second game. Is that too late? because
No, I don't think so.
okay,
No,
because
no.
some matches might go an hour apiece,
Right,
and then we have the
right.
draft and everything else.
It
So
could be shorter or longer. And a
yeah,
best of two, that's definitely doable
yeah,
for all of that. And if we can't get to all of that, and for some reason, don't for all you folks out there, it's all good. Don't get heartbroken. Don't get
right,
shattered. Get the game, get the points, so we can move on to the next
yeah,
week. Because where all the action comes from is once we start getting into the end of that season and it starts wrapping up, and we start identifying which teams are going to be the top contenders. That's where things are going to get really exciting. So all of
yeah,
this early stuff that's happening, don't get caught up in it too much. Don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it get frustrated. Doesn't matter who's on your team. Just get your team assembled and get in these leagues and play. Even if you guys don't even get to practice. Even
yeah,
if the game that one game that you play during the week is your match within the league and that is your practice, so what? Just do it.
just
Because
do it.
you got to get the exposure in the league format. So the next time that you get into it, this shit is so easy that's just like you're waking up and it becomes so natural that there's no confusion at all and everyone can help each other out. And these podcasts then turn into us doing post-game interviews with these captains and picking their brain and what the hell was going on over here. Explain, how was this in this moment of high intensity, my friend, that you managed to get that rampage on your enemy team. Anyway, so we might wrap up there. Sarge, do you have any last thoughts?
Yeah,
Before
one
we
last
close?
thought on that little part. So I think this is how I'm going to handle it for now. I think I'm going to have the 4 matches. I'm going to select 2 for Thursday, 2 for Wednesday, 2 for Thursday. That way we don't have 2 teams fighting for the 8 o'clock spot. You will be assigned a spot. And if you can make it, like I said, great. If you can't, it's just how we're just going to have our learning curve this first season. Because we can't make everybody happy, like I said.
Right.
So if we just give those hard dates, that that's your assigned time. And if you can't make it, you make other plans. But that's where we need you to get as much footage as possible. So that's how I'm going to handle it for now. I'm going to post it. I'll probably readjust the roster and the schedule with times, hard times, and then if they show up, great. If they don't, they'll make it up. I think that's the best for a quick response.
It's
and
also
getting this
it's also
rolling.
really good for generating an audience, and you
Yeah.
guys really want to get your talents and your skills and your capacity to be a team player. And if you've got a sense of humor and you got charisma and you want to make this a big deal, the better we schedule these things, the more activity we're going to get on the front end from the folks who want to see you guys play. And we want people to see you guys play. That's the whole point that Sarge and I are doing this, because we want you guys to be exposed, because this game has a tremendous audience. Tremendous audience, and we just want to tap into that. So if you haven't seen the previous podcast, it is on my YouTube channel. Just search for Peter Perez. You'll be able to find it with ease. You can also find it within the Texas eSports League itself. Just scroll down for a little bit, or find my name in there, and you can look up at all the posts that I've put in the group. You can find Sarge and I talking back and forth about the kind of the launch of the league itself. Unless anybody has any, I don't see any questions from Twitch, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I'm RBEpete. I'm joined by Sarge, and thank you so much for letting us do this for you guys. I really respect everything that has been put in so far, and have a good night. Sarge, thanks again, my friend.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right.